Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Trials of Mana. I'm the Mysterious JG. This is one more video than I really should be recording, but having spent enough time talking about the different class change possibilities, I really got to the end of a video before we got to this boss fight that I wanted to do. So, ultimately, what I want to do with each character, and I'd figured this out before I even really started the LP, so I wasn't particularly looking for feedback from the crowd on this one. Angela's going to go with Grand Divina. I think that's light and then dark. Because that gives her... I keep reading... apparently there's different thoughts on what Angela's best class is, and one of them is the one where she gets the, this game's version of the Meteo spell, which is a dark... I think that's dark. When Bobo and I played it years ago, she went dark light, which I think made her called something like Magus, and she had the death spell. But the death spell isn't as good in this game as it was in that one. Not to mention we've already seen that. But I'll be going light-dark with her, and there's different people think different classes of hers are the best. But everybody basically argues that her dark path and her light-dark path are both amongst the best classes. Charlotte, I don't think... the path I picked is not the one that everyone seems to call the best, but everyone does say that her curse spell is pretty good. And that's her going, I believe it's dark light. I think that's called Necromancer, oddly enough, but that's not why I chose it. I don't know for sure that's what it is. Necromancer might be dark. I think she's going dark light, so hers might be called like something else. And then Duran is going to go dark light, because that gives him access to Moon Saber or Leaf Saber, whichever one. You can cast a Saber spell on your partners, not just yourself, and it's the one that allows you to get back MP, so I figured that would be cool for my two spellcasters. Possibly, from what I've heard, it's not that hard to get MP for Angela through other means, but the Moon Saber, I think it's Moon Saber, not Leaf Saber, whichever one it is, that'll be a possibility. And Duran just does great damage in his dark path. As a matter of fact, his light path is at the bottom of every... and I didn't spend a ton of time researching this before anyone thinks I'm a complete freak, but yeah, like his light path is kind of at the bottom of all the tier lists that fans have put together. She's got like this kind of bat wing thing going with her dress here. It's weird. Anyway, so let's continue ahead with our newly... did I spend my... I think I had spent my training points before I realized that I probably shouldn't have, because I was going to be coming here, and like I could have gone like with more than 6 for Angela, but she would, she's already got access to all the spells she can have at this point. Random debuff, 10% chance of a random stat decreasing when using a power attack. Oh, that's interesting. What do I need to bear in mind for, yeah, nobody's actually going to have any new abilities yet, other than just having different stats and more slots for these passives, but nobody will actually have new active abilities because critical smash. Yeah, Spirit becomes important for Duran once he gets class change, because he starts getting access to magic. And I think Spirit gives him all the elemental sabers, even though for Angela you get like fire comes from strength and wind comes from luck. For the saber spells, everything comes from Spirit. So, I don't get it, but it is what it is. Oh, we're not at full health and full MP. Oh, because we class changed, so we got higher maximum values than we used to have. Just for the hell of it, let's level that up.
Get out of my way before I break you. We're just getting started.
So yeah, despite the fact that this is their new class changed forms, and this was Duran's whole it's kind of like the first time Angela casts a spell, there's no special dialogue where she's all excited. Duran's class change, he's not all that hopped up. I guess he won't care until he beats the Crimson Wizard, but since Angela's our main character, Duran won't... well, honestly, it's a long ways off, but when we fight the Crimson Wizard, I don't think Duran even gets dialogue, because either Angela or Duran can, not both. So we've got new outfits, and we're looking for a new boss challenge.
Sophie's in trouble!
Well, he's just being tormented by Darth Vader. I don't see why you'd think he's in trouble.
Stop!
Yeah, that was a neat effect in the SNES version. This weird, cylinder of dark energy.
That's you too!
Well, yeah. That's why you were able to get in here. You shouldn't be mad at me. And so is Jin. He's gone, baby.
Something's wrong.
What is dark purple energy? Why would that make you think anything's wrong? Oh, he just pooped out some kind of giant harpy? I don't get it. I wasn't clear what was happening here during the main game, or the original game either.
Ow! Knight do this.
What the hell, man?
Have to hurry and save Sylphin.
Luckily, it tells you this thing's weakness, so that's handy. Yeah, it's weak against Earth, so there's no particular reason not to use it.
Hang on, Sylphin. We'll be...
Oh, and it's time for buffet. Oh, you know what? I bought those fancy pants scales, and I didn't really equip any of them. I guess I can use Sagan Chip, because that one's already, just by good fortune, equipped, and use that on Angela, because she'll be using attack magic.
Be gone!
And it is a good idea to be evading with Angela when she does that flying thing, because she is targeting Angela. I don't know if Angela's doing the most damage. Well, her spell missed there. That was surprising. I guess the spells can miss during certain points in the animation.
Be gone!
Oh, she's charging. We need to be, knocking her out of whatever this attack is. And we did not succeed. Yeah, we did not. I probably should have cast a spell while she was in that pose, because I think doing enough damage prevents her from doing that. This is going a little... This is being harder than I expected. But again, maybe I was more leveled when I did this off screen? I don't know that I was.
Here we go!
Oh, it didn't full heal everyone.
You wish.
Oh, double slash. I probably should have done the high-end attack instead.
Hey, watch it! Owie!
I got enough magic to do her Diamonds of Doom attack again. Supersonic. Okay, full court press, guys. We kind of need to beat her up now. Got her. Okay. It's a little bit harder than I expected. A nice panty shot of the giant harpy beast. And level up. Indicating that before off-screen grinding like a fiend, we weren't over-leveled.
Are you okay?
Buster Wolf!
Are you alright?
A Mexican food. I'll make you alright, whether you like it or not. Hey, this looks like he's got an upset tummy is all.
Ooh. You saved me.
Who was that Dark Knight?
I don't know. One moment he was looking at the Mana Stone, And next, he was after me.
Okay, I didn't really remember how he talked in the voice-acted version. So I'm just grateful he doesn't have like a stereotypical Middle Eastern voice because he's a Jinn. I mean, he's Sylphid. I keep calling him Jinn, which I think was his name in a prior translation. I might be mistaken, but yeah, I'm just kind of happy that the Wind Genie character doesn't have like, you know, wacky Middle Eastern. He doesn't talk like, you know, the like Guado from the Phantom Menace.
He drained my energy and summoned Persephone.
Who you were just fighting.
Was that knight trying to release the Mana Stone?
He must be our friend,
Sylphie?
an ally.
We need your help.
I'm sure that knight turns out to be a really cool guy.
I see. Well, you all saved my life. I'll stick with you until the bitter end.
I thought we'd be friends to the end. This is the end. We obtained powers from the wind elemental Sylphid. Yeah, boy. Wind elemental magic. Now that you can access Sylphid's powers, you can use wind elemental magic by putting training points towards abilities from the training section of options. Here are some examples of wind magic. Lightning Saber imbues allies' weapon with wind elemental damage, not lightning, so forget the name. Defenseless decreases enemies' defense, and Cyclone deals wind magic damage.
Now that Sylphid's on our side, we can get into Citadel Laurent. Let's
Pretty-
head to the Somnosa Meadow.
Pretty
Those
cool, huh?
agents from Navarro have overstayed their welcome.
They gotta get the F out, bitches. But we are actually not going to... Well, I guess we could check and see. Again, where could we put points? I would need 9 points in pretty much any well, hold on. In pretty much any attribute to get like a cool plus version of the original spell, I would need 9 points. With Ice Smash in particular, we would need 15 intellect to get the plus version. But Evil Gate and Ice Smash both become available at 9, which isn't that big a deal because those elements don't become available until a little later anyway. And again, 15 intelligence. 6 was the old cap for training. 15 is the new cap after class change, and that gives us Dark Force. Nobody else's stats are quite as interesting to go through because they have fewer active skills based on elements. But if we were sticking with this build, we would probably be going for Spirit for Duran to get his healing better. Or, because he doesn't get Saber Magic, not until his second class change on the Light Path. And the only Saber Magic he gets, I believe, is the Saint Saber, which is Holy Elemental, which isn't as useful as you might think. And then for her, we'd be going probably, again, Spirit, to get her access to Stone Saber, Lightning Saber, these imbue an ally's weapon. But some of them, like Duran, if you remember correctly, some of his Saber spells he gets until class change, he just gets... Oh, maybe he gets one where he can target himself or an ally, but he can't give everybody the Saber in one cast, which isn't that big of a deal if it takes 3 casts. As long as it's not, like, only self that he can cast it on. But we're not actually worried about that now. Now we can actually load. We're at level 22. And as I said before... 11 of 50 on Little Cactus. Now, at long last, the moment we've all been waiting for, or me at least, I'm going to go load this crazy off-screening while watching, you know, Cinematic Titanics or whatever. Lethal and all streaming, Zerfall streaming, all that stuff I've been watching to kill time. Or not, stuff that I was watching and not paying 100% attention to. I could watch it on the laptop while, you know. And now we're all leveled up. We've ground up enough Rabbites to feed a country Rabbite burgers for a year. Assuming Rabbite meat never goes bad. At Food Lion, they'll just mix the old Rabbite meat in with new Rabbite meat. Maybe bleach it a bit. But now we're way over leveled. But as you can see, Angela's in her her light, holy slutty outfit instead of the dark, evil slutty outfit. And 9 of 50. Yeah, I think I missed those 2 specific little cacti that were off on that kind of side path in the I think I missed those 2 that were off on the side path in the Mole Bear Moors, so I need to figure out how to get back there, if the game will let me at this point. But if we were go to Adventure Log, and you see everybody's got their new outfits that you didn't get to see. Charlotte is whatever her class was called. And training-wise, with Angela, you gotta max everything before you get all the goodies. More or less. So intelligence, you max everything and you're getting ice and evil spells of high end. I think the first thing I drove after was Lucent Beam, because that's the second level light magic, which is actually going to be higher than level 2 ice is 200, level 2 earth is 200, level 2 fire is 200, level 2 wind is 176 for some reason. Level 2 light is 250, so I did go after that first. But I'm working on magic now, and at some point... Oh, I must be working on Diamond Shards and Earthquake. I think once I got Diamond Shards and Earthquake, I was going to switch over back to Intelligence. I must have just got 9 to make sure I at least had the basic Ice and Darkness spells. And Spirit, I got all the Spirit I need for right now. That's what it is. I'm working on Stamina so that I can get Earthquake, and then from there I'll have the second level Earth spell, all the fire spells currently available, level 1 only with the wind spells, level 2 with Holy, level 1 only with Ice and Dark. So yeah, once I've gotten level 9, I can decide, do I want to work on level 2 Ice and Dark, do I want to work on level 2 Wind, or do I want to work on level 2, yeah, actually it'll be whatever. I don't need to figure this out on camera. And with Duran, I got all of his saber magic learned. He's got stone, lightning, flame, and ice. And he can cast that on allies, not just on himself. And from there, I maxed out strength just because it seemed like the best thing for Duran to be good with. And I guess now I'm doing intelligence, because eventually opponent's saber magic and corresponding elemental damage decreased by 15. Seems like a good thing to have in pocket. And with Carly, I guess I need to think ahead to what does she need to put points into to get the evil curse spell, but I think that's intelligence. Because now it's like I maxed out, the same as last time, max out spirit and intelligence first, and then stamina, and then just whatever's left. I still haven't put any points into strength for her. Or luck. Alright, and I've got a ridiculous amount of money, too. So why are we here in the free city of Maya? Just because that's a place where I could go fight Rabbites, and Rabbites drop seeds. Do I have any seeds to show? Oh, and here's a fun one. He's changed class, right? I'm going to need a lot more experience if I want to change my class. Time to start training. He already knows about the second class change and is already thinking ahead to it. So we're we're at level 4 and about halfway through filling the meter to get to level 5, which is the max. And that, the crazy amount of off-screening I did trying to get seeds, thinking I would hit a diminishing return on experience, which I still haven't quite hit. Like, you can grind away on this game and keep getting stronger if you want. And before class change, you'll just get a bunch of training points that you can't spend, but they're not wasted. You can spend them after you do. So like in the original Seiken Densetsu 3, you have to be kind of careful, not to, like, particularly with Angela or anyone who learns a lot of skills and spells. You have to make sure you don't level up too much before you get to the point in the plot where you have the spirits, because otherwise you have to do a ton of grinding to level up, and you only learn new spells when you level up. In this game, you really don't have to be anywhere near as careful. That's funny. Cannon Travel is open for business, but you 3 are the only ones who use it. Oh, well, meet you in the backyard. Nod, my giant hair. Wind shear check, targeting check. Locked in on Valencia. Ready? You know what? Yeah, let's do it. Let's just, we'll resume the plot next time. This is a bit of wasted time, but I guess you can see our new skills at work. We could go, you know what, we could talk to the Hero King now that we have the Wind Spirit, and he could be like, yeah, you got the Wind Spirit, but why aren't you being kind of a bitch? Why don't you help those people you promised to help? Because they helped us get the Wind Spirit in exchange for us helping them take back their castle, which we've kind of ducked out on. I didn't want to do that off screen. I figured I'd hit the point where I could class change off screen and would advance the story no further. But since I need to come here and get those missing little cactuses, we could come back and visit Duran's king. Well, now that he's class changed, maybe he's willing to go home, but I don't think he will. I think he needs to go talk to... Did we talk to you? What do you want anyway? Listen here, I'm going to get stronger. Yeah. Let's go get those two little cacti. And then there's a part of me that wants to just go back and grind off screen for even more seeds, but I know I really need to not do that. Maybe in advance of LPing, I guess I could, like, if I really want something to grind in, I guess I could grind in Yakuza, but I haven't even started an LP of that. Or really advanced far enough for it to make any sense to try to grind. It's a weird position wanting to find a game to grind in, but for whatever reason I'm just in the mood to do that today. We could see the same cinematic in our new outfits in which he refuses to go back to his old house.
Sorry, not in here. Anywhere but here.
Okay, it is literally exactly the same.
Too bad.
Cut it out.
Angela's costume in particular is pretty close to her original. It's like dressed up a bit with more variations, but it's the same general theme. Other people's costumes change more, and everybody's costumes look more different from each other than in the Super Famicom version, where people's hair color tended to change as much as anything else. But yeah, we spent enough time just fighting that boss, getting that little nugget of plot, and looking at our new skills and stuff for our new light. Well, not light classes. It's two new dark classes and one light class. It's only Angela who went light. You know, how do I think about it? You fight Rabites here too. Let's beat them up just so we can... Oh, that's right. Charlotte has summoning magic, which isn't as neat as it might sound. It's just a spell that takes the form of the image of an enemy appearing on screen and dealing damage. It's not like we really have an enemy on screen that's fighting for us and is... That was Lucent Beam, which is total overkill, but I thought I would show it off once. But yeah, I don't remember exactly where the little cactuses were, other than the fact that there were two of them in this zone that we didn't find. We're not quite one-shotting enemies with Angela's melee, but... As you can see, there's a much better area of effect on that. She can... It's not great to show it off against Rabites because they're weak enough to get killed by everything anyway, but you can do a lot more damage when you're able to hit more targets easily. And her combo is a lot weirder now. She does this little... I hit the correct button combo. She does this drill attack. Time.
All done.
Yeah, I'm kind of missing where the little cactuses are. I know one of them is actually in the cave when we get to the cave. So, but I was expecting to find one of the two before we got to the cave. Yeah, right here. Found a little cactus. So that'll get us up to 10. And that 10% discount at shops. Huzzah. Prize, you're... You guys should just feel fortunate that I'm not bothering to kill you, actually. And, we might not even have time if I want to end this right by 30 minutes, but I think even if it goes a little long, we'll just go in and see the Hero King and have him be like, "What the hell are you doing? Stop trying to sequence break," as the kids say. Go help Laurent before you continue. It's kind of just trying to remember how to do combos, which is weird because I'm going to set this game aside for a bit now. I've been playing this game on and off all day. Found little cactus. Next reward will be occasional 2x boost XP, which would be exciting if I wasn't already over-leveled and kind of feeling bad about it. I'm just so anxious to learn the skills, even though... and it's weird. It's like an addiction. Like, oh, I want to pick up all the skills. Ooh, I want to see all the different skill trees that you can use for the different classes. And, like, ultimately, none of the magic spells look that different or impressive in this game. But just the notion that I'm doing different elemental damages is still exciting somehow. Okay, that's going to be a little bit less pervy with the camera angle there. Which is kind of challenging when running uphill with Angela. Alright, so we'll head back to Valsena. We'll check in with the Hero King now that we've got another spirit and see what he says when we are kind of ignoring that we should be helping the Amazons. He might just ignore the fact that we've got a new spirit until we do that. Because I don't remember if something happens as soon as we help the Amazons, it immediately takes us off course so that we're not normally supposed to visit him until after we've acquired Dryad plus additional spirits. There's definitely a point where we end up on a boat and we're going from one place to another, but something happens and we get taken off course, and by the time we get control over our destination again, we've picked up another spirit. I remember at least one spirit we get that's just kind of... we have no idea that it was going to be there. It just happens, but... I'm being just a little coy only because some folks might not... A handful of you, some small subset of you, I'm sure only a few, might not have seen the series I did years ago with Bobo. Oh, that might be worth checking out. So she's got, right now, she's got Reclaim and Reclaim 2 and Victory Boost, which means she's getting, like, Reclaim and Reclaim 2 stack. One of them is you get 1 MP every time you hit a heavy attack. The other one is you get 2 MP every time you hit a heavy attack. So every time she gets a heavy attack, she gets 3 MP, and if she defeats an enemy, she gets an additional 2. So it's very much oriented towards I can alternate. And the enemies here, it's not worth worrying about. But at some point, I'll be able to alternate between whacking everything with magic and periodically having to just not do that for 1 or 2 battles in order to be able to do it again for the next battle. And here, I never actually went and got those, that one, like, hidden away treasure chest that was on a little island. But the item that was in that treasure chest, we already know what it was, and it's not that impressive. I guess I could, as an experiment, go see if it's the same thing now, or if it's always an item that's like one level above what you had been able to get in shops. But I'm pretty sure it'll just turn out to be the same thing, which was a staff for Angela that was better than you would have been able to get at that point in the game when you first got to Mulberry Moors. There we go. So I'm calling it a session, which I always have a habit of letting the last video go a little long if I know I'm calling it a session when that video is over. We just want to see what the King of Balsena has to say. No. I guess we could try to get a... I don't even have the option of, like, here's an upskirt shot of Duran, because in the town you are always your lead. So anybody who wants to perv on Reese in the, Reese in the next playthrough, which I'm still planning on doing, I might change my mind, I'm afraid you're going to have to settle for perving on Wolfman Kevin. Because even if I decided I didn't care about seeing Wolfman Kevin in particular, no, it would have to be Wolfman Kevin, because otherwise I'll see the same villain I've already seen. Because Hawkeye and Reese have the same storyline and same main villains. For those who remember, Hawkeye had this occasional recurring vampire figure who worked for the archdemon guy. But his main storyline person he was worried about was the Isabella, the, evil sorceress lady. For Reese, it's the opposite. She'll occasionally run into Isabella, the evil sorceress, but the main person who pops up and, kidnapped her brother and is her main thorn in her side is the vampire guy, who is just a side villain for Hawk. But they both work for the same main villain at the end. You have certainly improved since I saw you last, Duran, in power and in spirit. I look forward to the day you face the Crimson Wizard and come back to us triumphant. Okay, so we get nothing for having gotten a new spirit from him. And he doesn't compliment how Angela has a whole new outfit, because he might not be able to actually tell that they've class changed. Alright, so was there a we'll just save here. So when we come back, we need to get back in the cannon and have it fly us back to some place from which we can reach, because the plot won't advance until we help the Amazons. We can't just say, haha, you got us to win spirit, we got what we wanted, now you guys can, just, you guys can piss off. That's not an option. So when we come back next time, and I was going to do this anyway because I'm such a good guy, but we will help the Amazons get their castle back from the evil thief guys, who are not actually evil. We know from Hawk's story are actually just being used as puppets by an evil force. But we never really find out about that as these guys. We just beat the shit out of them and take the castle back. And we'll do that next time. See you then.